There we go. All right, you all should be able to hear me. Let me make sure you can hear me. Can you hear me okay? Before I even get started and start talking. Hold on, I have a lot going on my screen right now. Let me kind of click some of this stuff out. Can you guys hear me okay? Give a thumbs up if you can hear me before I get started. Hey. Okay, I'm not seeing anyone yet. Can y'all hear me? Give me a thumbs up and give a thumbs up to the live if you can hear me. I want to make sure you guys can hear me. Can you hear me on this live? No one is saying yet they can hear me. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. All right. Hey, everyone. Hey. All right. Happy day after Thanksgiving. I know some of y'all were like, is she showing up today? Yes, I am showing up today. We have a lot to talk about. First and foremost, happy first Thanksgiving. Yay. Okay. For the American Federation and the Lakota Nation. This is the first Thanksgiving, you guys, that we are literally experiencing freedom. Okay, so for that, we want to say thank you. Now, our count right now is really low, so we know that it's trying to get out there to let everybody know that we're on, but you can always help by giving a thumbs up. And even if you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and give a thumbs up because it helps push this out a little further. Because at this point, we need as many people as possible to know about what has taken place. Do you know there are still people that are clueless to what has happened? So we want you to push this out. So give a thumbs up to the live, and I would appreciate that. All right, let me just go ahead and give just a few announcements. First and foremost, follow me on all social media, you guys, at I am Dr. Sherry. If you're not following me, I need you to follow me. And the reason I post things different places, because do y'all know our accounts get shut down for verbalizing this, right? And so I know that I don't want to do that. So I put different things, different places. So that's why I tell you to follow me everywhere. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on TikTok. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. To be honest with you, I'm not over at the X as much here and there, but again, follow me there as well. All right, so let me see who we have in the house. Let me just go ahead and look at some of these comments that are coming in. Hey, Lakia. Hey, member. All right. We did a little short member. We finally got it to work, you guys. So we did a little short members live the other night. So they know something that other people don't know yet. And that's the part of being in our membership, because you get information first, right? All right. Hey, Sharon. Salutations, everyone. All right. Hey, Miss Francis. Hey. Good afternoon to you. All right. Member Kelly is in the house. Hello. Okay, we did that one. Okay, y'all said you could hear me. I know at first I couldn't sure if you could hear me or not. And hey, member April. All right, we are slowly but surely getting out there. Let's see who else is here today. Hey, CJ Flash in the house. All right, Grand Rising. And good afternoon, Dr. Hello, Kimberly. How are you? All right, you guys. And you know what? Let me just start with that right there. I was speaking with talking to my grandbaby, and she was like, "Good morning, Mima." And I was like, "Good morning, baby." I said, "But let Mima teach you something. We don't want to say good morning because morning means to be in a state of recuperating from someone passing. You go into a mourning state where you're kind of sad and you're trying to get your thoughts and your feelings and pretty much your life on track again after the death of someone or something." I said, so when we go to sleep at night. Do y'all realize that your body's literally just conk out? Do y'all realize that once the energy is depleted out of your body, you go to sleep? How many people knew that? How many people knew that? I want to just see in the chat. How many knew that when you actually go to sleep at night, it's your body literally getting to zero of energy. It has no more energy left. And so it has to go into a hibernating state. I just want to see how many knew that. Okay. Almighty CJ Flash was aware of that. So that's literally what happens when you go to sleep. When you go to sleep, the body, the flesh goes into hibernation. Okay. It can't take any more energy. It can't take any more activity until it rests and it rejuvenates itself. All right. And so when this happens, the mind and the soul continues, right? And the spirit continues, but the body is in a restoration state. It has to restore itself. So if you think for 1 minute that your spirit is not traveling, your soul is not traveling, this is what time traveling is. All right. Hey, Miss Deborah, your body literally begins to travel. And so when you have these dreams and all of these things are taking place in your mind and your spirit and your soul, literally what is happening is that you are your spirit is going places, your spirit is seeing things, your spirit is interacting. That's why you can remember these things when you wake up in the morning. So when our bodies are asleep, our bodies are hibernating, our bodies are restoring itself, but our spirits keep moving, our spirit keeps interaction, our spirit keeps doing things, time traveling, going places, and then the spirit comes back into the body. And when the body is restored, the body wakes up again. If you all don't think that's what's happening, I am telling you. For some of you all where this is sounding far-fetched, it is not far-fetched because that's exactly what's happened. So now going back to the story with my grandbaby, I told her instead of saying good morning, because what we're telling somebody is there's a goodness in you being sad. Instead of saying that, we say welcome back. We say welcome back because we're welcoming the spirit and the soul and the body rejoining itself as one. All right. So let's start to try to educate now. We want to educate our families. We want to educate our friends. We want to start putting this education out in the environment and stop keeping it to ourselves. So if you're here week after week after week, you have an accountability now to educate. Okay. So Bareback says, wish I could see your beautiful face each time I go, oh, now is somebody flirting here? Bareback, I don't know how to take that one. But I thank you, I think. But anyway, I told my grandbaby, I said, so when you all wake up, Mima is going to say, welcome back. All right, let's get going with our announcements. Oh, we got so much. All right, so for those that came in on my big announcement, I'm sure you were shocked about everything I gave to you on the first part. If you haven't had a chance to, if you didn't get a chance to pipe into my big announcement that occurred this past Tuesday, I wasn't able to get through all of it. So there is going to be a part 2. And so let me just give you this right here. I'm typing it in now. Y'all know I got to make sure I get everything typed right. All right. So if you'll go here to, did I share it yet? No, I did not. There you go. All right. So if you'll go there, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to knock something out of my keyboard. Okay. If you'll go there, you'll be able to register for part 2, which will actually be on this Tuesday, December 2nd. All right. So during this time, and y'all please excuse me for a minute because I am trying to knock some stuff out. Give me 1 second. Let me tell my daughter to. Okay. So if you'll go there, you'll be able to register because we are going to have a part 2 on December 2nd. Okay. We're going to have a part 2 on December 2nd. You'll be able to register there. And I apologize. Y'all know when these babies call me and contact me, I gotta break away for a minute just to see what they need. So give me 1 second because my baby is texting. Okay, I apologize, you guys. I apologize. Okay, I had to get her straight. All right, let me backtrack so I can make sure I didn't lose my train of thought. Thank you, thank you, thank you again for those who came to the big announcement this past Tuesday. I will be doing a part 2 where I'll be finishing up everything this Tuesday. If you didn't get a chance to listen to the first part, I will not post the first part public yet because it's too heavy. It's really, really heavy. Okay. So I will post the first part in the school right now. It hasn't been posted yet. I'll give an announcement when that is posted. But I'm going to post that over in the school first, and then I'll let you know when I will post the first part in the public, in the YouTube space. All right, because it is really deep. It is really, really deep. And for those that piped in, in fact, is anybody in here that was on? Is anybody in here that was on Tuesday? Let's see if anybody was in here. Okay, I don't see anybody yet. Is anybody in here that was on the live on Tuesday or in the members chat, in the members group that we had on this past Tuesday? And I know there's a little delay, so I can, okay, we do have some people that was in here. Okay, Kelly was in there. Okay, good. Okay. All right. So you all know that it's very deep. So again, just go to link bio, www.lnk.bio/I am Dr. Sherry, and you'll be able to register for the second part that will be on December 2nd. And you guys, I am actually for the first time revealing everything that happened to me. And if you were in the first part, I know that I could tell by the comments that you were given that you just couldn't believe what happened to me on the first part. So if you were there for the first part, you'll have no idea what they tried to do on the second part. All right. So I was one woman by myself. Okay, Miss Deborah was there. I was one woman that had to experience all of that pain, all of that hurt, all of that deception. And as I said in the live, and I'm not going to talk too much about it here, but I will say this. I had to experience that. That had to be my journey. Okay. That had to be my journey. So I could now be in position to try to direct people to the space that could help them. All right. And so that's where we are now. So again, you can register for that. All right. Once again, you guys, if you're coming in, give it a thumbs up because our accounts are kind of low today on that. Right here. Thank you again for those that have given. Thank you, Miss Antoinette, for you're giving those donations, and I promise you, I am going to get my Starbucks coffee. I use some of the donations to treat myself to the movies. So I thank you guys so much. You have no idea. And I tell you, when we always have an exchange like that, and it doesn't have to be a lot, but just to know that somebody is thinking about you, I appreciate that. So the Cash App and the Venmo is right there, or you can Zelle. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And when I get those and they come to me for just a hot second, I just say a prayer for you, just for thinking about me. So I just want to say again, thank you for those who give me those sweet donations throughout the week. I really appreciate that. All right. So we talked about that we've already had our first Thanksgiving of the American Federation and the states and the Lakota Nation. I'm going to talk about the Lakota Nation in a second. We know that right now, this is literally the end of the great fraud, you guys. It's over. And so even when I was, experiencing Thanksgiving yesterday and I was explaining to some of my family and friends that were there, and I showed them my credential card. And I said to them, I've been telling you all about this. I've been explaining this to you. And the many of them said, now I've been hearing this over and over and over again. One said, I was afraid. One said, yeah, you've been telling us, we just weren't listening. One said, I was afraid that the FBI was going to pick you up. So there's been a lot of discussion now on, not on the front end that you're crazy, not on the front end you don't know what you're talking about. Now it's taking responsibility for the information being real, but now I see more so that they're taking responsibility of not now understanding it. And as I told them back then, the same I'm telling them now, and I'm telling you all who are piping here, week after week, it's not going away. I say this over and over and over again. You're crazy if you think this information is going away. It's not going away. It's not. So you have to get on the bandwagon and understand it because it's real, okay? And it's true. And you have to understand who you are and how to begin to move so you can take possession and control of your birthright, okay? So again, this was our first Thanksgiving. And so we know that there is an actual partnership with the American Federation and with the Lakota Nation. And so let me pull that up. Give me 1 second. And if you're in the school, I actually posted the actual pact between the Lakota Nation and, here it is right here. It's a joint proclamation by Chief Laverne Fast Horse of the Lakota Nation. And I'm going to read it. It said, let all jurisdictions, all nations, all people, all countries, all principalities, and potentates, and presidents and prime ministers take notice. Please see the attached JPEG copy of Joint Proclamation by Chief Laverne Fast Horse of the Lakota Republic, forming our dual proclamation for this, our beloved country. The signed hard copies are to follow for historic record, but no delay in performance should be occasioned, as all that has been formalized already and put into place over the past 20 years to preserve the rights of living people and the national integrity of many nations. And this was issued by Eric Belcher, who is the head of state of the United States of America. And it was issued by Anna Maria Reisenser, who is our fiduciary of the United States of America. So now let me actually read the proclamation. Now, yesterday when I posted it in the school, and it's the first thing I noticed too, I don't know if this is an error or I don't know if this was supposed to be written like this, but I'll bring this to your attention when I get to it. All right. And so it says, and I read, the Republic of the Lakota Nation. This is a joint proclamation. And it says, pursuant to the proclamation of American Federation of States, Anna Marie von Reitz, aka Reisinger of Alaska, we fully, this is where it says upport, AUPPORT. Not sure if that's supposed to be support, not sure if there's an error, because I do know sometimes these letters were different years before. Everything was taken from something else. So I'm not sure if they purposely put that there or if there's an error. All right. That's something that has already come up. I'm sure others have noticed this because I'm sure they're proofreaders. I'm sure someone caught it. So that's why I'm not sure if this was purposeful, using another dialect, another transition of a letter. Not sure. All right. So anyway, it says we fully upport or support, not sure, her endeavors of taking back the United States of America at midnight. And this midnight is MIDNITE. That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure about the letters here. Pursuant to a joint proclamation with Pope Francis of Assisi in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 2014. Y'all know I love Philadelphia. That's my home. Okay. And the World Court's decision this year for acquiring the United States. Sincerely, Chief L.C. Fast Horse, the Walakota Wanaya Oglala. Okay. And that's what it says. Okay. So that's the proclamation. And again, as I get information um, as far as what that AUPPORT means and all of that, I'll pass it along through the school. All right. Okay, that's that. Now, we talked about that. Y'all know I got to do my little signatures. Once again, if you're coming in, thank you. Because for those that were in here, when you hit that thumbs up, you guys, it pushes it out a little further. So please listen, you guys. That's all I'm asking. If you're coming, you're listening to the live, give a thumbs up, okay? Because it helps push this out a little further. And I thank you. And you see once you do that, our numbers go up. All right. So we need to get this information out. You need to be sharing it to your family, to your friends, letting them know that you're being updated on what's happening. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Excuse me one second. Okay, so let me continue to go forth. The end of the Great Fraud. It was as of midnight, 11/21/25. The Federation of the American States has resumed operational command of the United States and has taken control of the remaining Government Services Corporation assets as the priority creditors and delegators. This was actually put in a writing from Anna von Ritz. And the title of this was the International Proclamation of Restoration. So I literally just read to you guys a portion of that, and that comes from the Chief Fast Tourist signing that. But I wanted to read to you this part, because this part right here, again, this is coming out of her writing, but this is serious, okay? And let me see, when was this? This was published yesterday. Let me see when this was published. This was published November 26th. So 2 days ago. All right. So, okay. So let me read this to you. And I'm reading directly from when she posted. At the present time, Donald Trump's administration has received a very large quantity of physical gold belonging to the people of this country. The gold represents the asset backing that gave rise to the system of peonage and enslavement promoted by taxation of our labor and other intellectual and energetic assets. It is not appropriate for the British territorial service providers who have no land jurisdiction empowerments related to this country to latch onto these gold reserves, which are land jurisdiction assets that belong to the states and people of this country. The gold and land titles are intellectual property assets that have been purloined, must be returned to the actual owners for the benefit of the living people, the restoration of the land and infrastructure, and future generations. We remind the Trump administration and the principals, Pope Leo, let me see, which one is he? The 14th? I think, yeah, 14th, and Charles III, and the present Lord Mayor of the inner city of London, that Alaska, like all the other territories formed during and after the so-called American Civil War, is no longer a territorial administrative state and has not been a territorial administrative state since October 1st, 2020. These former territories have been properly enrolled as states of the Union under the provisions of the Northwest Ordinance and are now in possession of the inheritance and responsibility. All federal military and federal civil service members are asked to report for duty as usual, with the exception of the district courts, that's all caps, and of any kind operating outside the physical boundaries of the District of Columbia. You guys, this part is so important. This part is so important that I'm reading, because a lot of you that have court cases or you're in these situations that's going on with these courts, she's given instructions now on how to proceed. And she's giving them instructions on what they can and can't do. That's what I'm saying. For this right here, you need to be sharing it. You need to be getting this out, because everybody needs to hear this. These courts, uppercase, are instructed to close their doors and begin reviewing and exonerating cases involving named entities that superficially appear to be the names of individual people. The long-standing presumption of dual federal citizenship obligation has been reversed. And this is where I always go, you need to understand who you are. So what she's speaking of right now is the straw man with the birth certificate, but you all know that there are actually three. I think did we cover that last week? I think we covered that last week, of the three different types of frauds that have taken place, right? The straw man on that birth certificate is just one. You got the American Descendant Estate, you got the British Territorial Estate, you got the Roman Municipal Estate, which is the straw man. So she's given instructions to these courts to be careful, okay? And let me go on, because these next couple of paragraphs are very heavy. Any cases prosecuted under these false presumptions within the last 10 years must be exonerated, and any property seized must be returned unharmed to the former owners or their next of kin heirs to the extent possible. Any fines or jail time imposed must be compensated, and any other damages attendant to each case must be paid in full and as soon as possible to prevent injustice, unjust enrichment, illegal takings prohibited by the constitutions, and inland piracy. You guys, this is huge. The municipal government franchises are presently being audited, and many are being subsumed while others are being redirected to perform other tasks. For example, the municipal FBI is directed to limit its activities to the continental United States and the United States territories and possessions. The municipal CIA is being directed to limit its activities to foreign locations outside the continental United States and the United States territories and possessions. So I'm going to start reading there. I just wanted to read that part to you guys. And if you notice, once again, you see when we start talking about this stuff, our accounts go down. All right. So again, just like it, share it, keep doing that, keep commenting, because it helps push this out a little further. But it's serious. We're in a very serious space right now. The transition has begun. All right. So as of November 21st, what I just read, we know November 17th is the homecoming day. But November 21st, it actually marks the beginning of everything being transferred over now. Okay. It transitioned over the operational responsibilities of the government. That's why Philadelphia is so important, because the American government is literally going back in, you guys. You see, there's two capitals. There's our capital, the American capital, which is in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, which is the capital of the nation, okay, of all of the states. And then there's the capital for Washington, D.C., which is for the federal, okay? The federal being the British, okay? So they'll have a place to run their services for the American people. Do you all understand? You have to understand how that's working. Our capital is for the living, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Washington, D.C. is a place that we gave to them to keep their stuff in order, a place for them to keep their records, to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do. That's why all of this stuff has to be audited now. That's why all of this gold that they have that's for the living is being transitioned over. All of this is happening as we speak. Another comment that was made as far as, well, when do you think this is going to catch up with like the policemen on the streets and the sheriffs on the street pulling people over? You're going to see it. In fact, I've already started to see it. I'm sure right now you are not seeing as many cops and police on the streets as you had before. Like last month, it was crazy the amount that we were seeing. They were pulling people over left and right. Give a thumbs up in the chat if you know what I'm talking about, or if you've seen that. This is go back a month ago, about a month to 2 months ago. They were everywhere. Am I the only one, or has others seen that in the areas that you were in? They were and I've been in multiple cities over the last month or two. They were everywhere. Now you don't even see them as much, because they are being educated now that we're not worrying about pulling people over for lights. Okay. We're not worried about pulling people over for registrations and tags. They're not worried about that anymore. They're being told to protect the people and protect the people's property. So when you all hear about a burglar, that's where you need to be going. When you hear about somebody's car being broken, that's the stuff you need to be worrying about. We don't need to be involved with arresting people over foolishness because of a registration or them not showing an ID. It's stupid. Okay. So we have to begin. So you're going to begin to see that. Okay. You're going to literally begin to see the transition. And this was about 3 or 4 days ago. I heard this. So you're talking about a week to 2 weeks. You're going to be able to begin to see an entire overhaul of what you've seen before. All right. And I'm happy about that. I am so happy about that. All right. So everybody always wants an update on the bank. And I already told y'all. Um, and I already told y'all that we're gonna wait and see when it happens. I'm not concerning myself with it. Okay. Because it's too stressful. I know some of you all are in some serious situations right now and you're wanting remedy, you're wanting the bank to be on, but I keep trying to tell you, you can get remedy without the bank being turned on. You just need to know how to articulate it. You got to begin to learn to make them stand down. I know I was dealing with a lady who had a very serious case. In fact, her case was worse than my case, literally. Okay, let me get the disclaimer: I am not an attorney, nor do I want to be. Okay, I do not give advice, legal advice. But what I do is I educate those on being able to advocate for themselves lawfully. I always have to say that. So anyway, are we being restricted about going into the bank? Going into the commercial. Well, let me finish my story and then I'll swing back to that. Let me keep this up so I can answer it. So anyway, I was talking to her and educating her on different things that she could do in her own case. And for the first time, she began to. I could hear her voice again. And let me explain to you when I said I could hear her voice again. When I first talked to her, she was so panicked. She was so afraid. She was lifeless. She was confused. And so after the team got together and we kind of put her on the straight and narrow on her journey, her voice, her entire voice has changed now. She is empowered. She is understanding of her steps. She knows how to make them stand down. And so again, if you heard my story, if you came to the live this past Tuesday, you understand now that I had to go through what I went through so I could help not tens of people, not hundreds of people at this point. At this point, I've helped thousands. Do you all know there's people that have stayed out of my life because they were afraid of who I was and who I was becoming? I had people to tell me, don't post me on your social media. I don't want to be posted. And I had to be dealt with that because I have a true understanding of it not being about Sherry, okay, the lawful woman. It had nothing to do with me. It really had all to do with them, of not being sure of who they were, not being sure of the spirit that they already had within them. And they really tried to invoke their fear onto me. And I had to have an understanding of that. I have nothing to do with you being a punk. I have nothing to do with you not having courage. That's on you. But I'm not going to allow you to spread your fear and your not understanding of who you are onto me. And I'm saying the same thing to you all. If you're around people who don't understand who they are, if you're around people who are afraid, you have to give them grace. And I give them grace, but don't allow them to impart their fear onto you. That is so important. Okay. When you learn how to make them stand down, they will look at you in awe of who you are. Okay. And so don't do what I did in the beginning to be angry and to be hurt. Now I'm in understanding of I really feel sorry for those people because you don't know who you are. I'm not going to let anybody or anything tell me who I can post, what I can post, how I can post. If I don't post, I can't go here. I can't do that. I can do it all, and I will, and I have. Period. With the T. I'm not letting anything stop me from going where I want to go, doing what I want to do, being what I want to be, and posting what I want to post. When you learn who you are, you can learn how to make them stand down. They're watching my lives just like y'all watching my lives. And you heard what I said. Okay, now let me go back to this question. Are we still being restricted about going into the bank? No, you're not being restricted on going to the bank. If you're talking about the commercial banks like Wells Fargo, Chase, all of that kind of stuff, you can go into the bank if you want, but I hope you're going in there taking your money out and transition it into gold. So I'm thinking that's what you're talking about. And if you're talking about the global bank, I'm not sure about them being even open yet. As far as the public, each state will have its own brick and mortar global bank, and you will be able to go into there. But I haven't heard anything as of yet of those doors being open, as I have not heard anything as far as the actual bank being opened. Okay, the one online. I hope I answered your question. Okay, greetings to you. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Okay, you guys, that's all I have for today. The global bank. No, I haven't heard anything about the global banks even being open for us to go into. Okay. And the online, I just haven't heard anything. I've seen updates as far as their website. Now their website is being updated on a daily basis. So I hope you're keeping up with those daily updates. But I'm gonna tell you this is my feeling now. Okay, this is what I'm feeling. No one has said this. So let's be very clear. No one has said this. This is just what I'm feeling. I am feeling that they're wanting some things to be put in place before they open this up to everybody. And I'm going to tell you why. Because they know some people that are in these assemblies are just waiting for the money, and you're not going to hear from them again. There's work to do, because at this point I think it's less than 5 states that are standing with their courts, you guys. So we have to have a place to put these commercial courts, these commercial entities that are infringing on the living. We have to have courts to bring them into. Okay. We have to have our own forces in place. That means these states need to be standing. So if you're in a state that's not standing, you need to be kicking their behind and asking them, what are you doing? All of the people that were so-called wanting to be in leadership and kicking people out so they wouldn't be in leadership. It's several states assemblies that have been misbehaving and not doing what they're supposed to do off of BS. Now it's time for you all to be emailing them and asking, who are these people now that are in leadership in the assemblies that's not doing jack squat? These states need to be standing. And if they're not going to do anything, tell them to get the hell out of the positions so people can come in that will work. In the beginning, these assemblies were terrible. Okay, with all of the bickering and the fussing back and forth and trying to kick people out. It was foolishness. That's how I got my school started, because the assemblies were dealing with so much foolishness. They weren't giving information. So now if you're sitting in my live, and if you're a part of the assemblies that's not doing anything, y'all need to get in gear and get yourselves together. This time is out for this BS and it's foolishness. If y'all aren't going to work and do what you're supposed to do, then get out the position and let people come in that are going to work and get these courts standing. No, we need to put faces to all these people that's behind the emails and all of that. Who are you that's not doing anything? We need for you to come live, okay? Or you need to get out. You need to get out, period, point blank, okay? Because it's ridiculous at this point. You're holding us up. So why am I relating this to the bank? They're probably saying some of these states need to get standing before we release this, because some of y'all are going to be leaving anyway when you get the money. You're not going to stay in your position once you get your money. You're going to disappear. We're never going to hear from you again. That's why I'm saying put people in these positions that's going to work, who don't care about the money. That's why, for those that know, I made a big announcement about Philadelphia. If you're in the school, I haven't said it live yet, not going to, because I know what my purpose is. I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I've already done it, and I'm going to continue to do it. When you come home to Philly, oh, she said it. I should have checked that comment. When you come home to Philly, I want to work with you. Okay, that's what you call. You're supposed to read the comments before you post them. Yes, I'm planning on going back to Philly. I'm planning on moving back to Philly. I am going back. I don't have a time on it yet because there's some things I need to handle in Florida first. But I am going to be migrating back to Philadelphia to help with the reconstruction of our government, okay, and putting things in order. And I'm glad that you want to work with me. Yes, we actually already working. Y'all would be surprised the amount of calls I get in a week. You have no idea. You just have no idea. It's enormous, but it's okay. It's okay now because we got order, we have structure, and for people that are in very serious situations, we are in position to help and assist you navigate those areas. Okay, I can't wait. We need you. Oh, yes, I'm coming back. I'm excited. I'm excited about it too. I really am coming back. And when I was living in Delaware, was it last year? I knew that there was another gravitational pull that always kept me in Philly and kept me in my home city of Chester. I would even go to the library in Chester and just study. A lot of people didn't know that. I actually was going home into the library. And Chester is it's not a pleasant city. It doesn't look nice. It's very high crime rate, but it was something else there. So to look at it with their eye and look at the city you were probably around. But I didn't. It made me smile when I was there. And I still long for that place because now I understand there was a higher purpose. There's another level to this. And I'm going to fulfill it. I'm going to fulfill it. So yes, I'll be going back, and you all get information on when I actually handle all of my stuff that I need to handle in Florida, and I migrate back up to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. What do you do if your assembly is non-responsive? And that's the problem right there. I would report them to the federation. I would report them to the federation at this point, which would be Anna's email address, or would be the higher ranking. I would make sure that they listen. We got to kick it in gear now. You all need to find out when are they having their meetings. Okay, if you want, go through Ohio. Ohio has their stuff together. Go through Lisa Schaefer, okay, and tell Lisa Schaefer that some of these people are not participating, not contacting you. Go find Michelle Ford information in California. All of that stuff is public information now, okay? And let them know that they're non-responsive, that y'all are ready to kick in gear. We're tired of waiting around with people not doing anything because they work real hard at kicking people out. And now we need, and this is the thing that made me angry. They hide behind their emails. You don't even know what these people look like. Who are they? Some people have even said at one point that some of these assemblies may have been infiltrated with the de facto doing this, holding us up. So I'm telling you all, press in now. Stop being afraid and press in. And I know Antoinette, so she's going to get to the bottom of whoever's not responding to her. Hold on. My battery is low. Hold on, you guys. It might shut off. Oh, here it is. Oh, Lord, hold on. I didn't even know my battery wasn't in. Woo, did I say? Yes. Ooh, it just shut off. All right, let me see. Okay. Anybody else before we head on out of here and go eat our turkey leftovers from yesterday? Y'all know that Thanksgiving food, it tastes so good the day after. Yeah, but I have a lot planned for this weekend and to have some fun. Y'all know I like to have fun. But anyway, I'll see you guys Tuesday. Oh, wait a minute. Tonight I'm supposed to do the orientation. I'm thinking I'm gonna pop on to see anybody new comes. I'm not gonna do it for old people, but if you all have someone new that needs to hear the fraud, I will pop on, but I'm gonna repeat, I am not doing it for any old people. But if I get one person that's new and they need to hear it and they want to hear it for the first time, then we're going to do it. So that's 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. Okay, you can get the link at newstatusnewlife.com, or you can go to my link bio and get it. All right, and that will help them register for tonight's orientation. All right, you guys, that's all I have for you. I hope I've informed you to date, and I'll see you tonight, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For those that missed my first presentation of the big announcement called The Last Word, part 2 is this Tuesday. I will post the first part in the school, hopefully today. If not today, I was supposed to do it the other day, but I got busy. But I'll post the first part in the school first, and I'll decide when I'm going to post it public. I haven't gotten the okay to do that yet in my spirit. Okay. So don't forget, we're not going to say good morning to anyone anymore. If you're not saying grand rising, we're saying welcome back. Until next time. Bye.